Inmates at the ADX are held in solitary confinement for 23 hours a day, and many of them are never released because of their crimes. In the Supermax prison in Florence, it's so quiet that you can't even hear the guards' boots. Can you imagine living a day in complete isolation and silence? Discover the harrowing reality of an ADX Supermax prisoner's daily life in this eye-opening journey behind bars. What is life like in ADX for those who are on the wrong side of the law? The most rigorous U.S. prison, ADX Florence, was built in 1995 with $60 million in funding from Fremont County. The spotless chambers, complete stillness, and seclusion characterize this unusual and tightly controlled environment. The silence throughout the prison is deadly, and this is because prisoners never cross paths or catch sight of each other. When did ADX Florence first open its doors to journalists? Only in 2007, more than a decade after its establishment. Each journalist felt the same way. The building was engulfed in an eerie stillness, a silence so thick you could cut it with a knife. In contrast to other prisons, ADX Florence's guards never interact with inmates. The use of direct guard-inmate interaction is not necessary because the prison is heavily monitored by video cameras and has cell doors that can be remotely operated from a control center. There are strict rules that govern all interactions between guards and prisoners, including prohibitions against eye contact and the use of language. Among the 4,000 prisons in the United States, ADX Florence is the only one to use a control unit system. Each prisoner is subject to strict measures for communication prevention while they are isolated for 23 hours each day in a soundproof concrete cell. The cells are 3.5 by 2 meters and have a 1.2 by 1.2 meter window that only provides a partial view of the sky and roof. Every component, including the furniture, was designed with safety at the forefront. Innovative plumbing features go the extra mile for inmate safety, including timed showers and tapless sinks. The intentional window layout ensures escape prevention, preventing convicts from viewing the compound. A foolproof tactic with no recorded escapes since 1995. Let's crack open the heavily fortified doors of ADX Florence, where entry is a one-way ticket. Entering ADX Florence comes down to an either-or scenario. You're either a terrorist or a criminal posing a threat to national security. Members of Al-Qaeda and brutal serial killers, people whose escape would endanger national security, and those who represent a serious threat even in conventional jails are housed in this facility. As a result, it stands as the epitome of an iron-fisted maximum security prison. It's the real deal when it comes to locking things down. Several security cameras and motion detectors are strategically positioned throughout the compound to increase security. A guarded surveillance center keeps watch over every cell door and hallway in the prison, which is surrounded by a fence made of approximately 4 meters of barbed wire. In case of danger, the 1,400 doors are instantly secured with one push of a button. Anti-aircraft wires prevent drone intrusion, and patrolling service dogs enhance security. With such strict regulations, attempting to flee seems like a Herculean task. Prisoners are only allowed 1 hour of solitary walking each day with little opportunity for interaction. Do they feel any relief from those 1-hour walks? Not a chance. At the designated time, an assigned guard leads prisoners individually on their walks, each handcuffed, chained, and guided to a confined area. While one might imagine a large place for walking, the reality is quite the opposite. It's a little space that requires 10 steps in a diagonal direction or 31 steps in a circle. Strict regulations on communication prevent convicts from eating in dining halls and force them to eat in silence in their cells. Notably, mashed food is provided to inmates as a preventative effort to reduce the possibility of self-harm. ADX Florence, with a capacity of 490 inmates, remains below full occupancy due to a fortunate shortage of criminals. The prison is meticulously designed to break even the most hardened criminals and facilitate their re-education. Every prisoner undergoes a 3-year period of complete solitude, a tactic thought to instill calm even in the most notorious individuals. Books and newspapers are given as rewards to prisoners who behave well. However, every newspaper that enters the prison is carefully examined for any potential codes that might be used to convey information among inmates. Have you ever considered the terrible psychological and emotional toll that an ADX Supermax prisoner endures each day to this extent? Comment below.